Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first official podcast of Underground Motivation, lifting people from rock bottom. I'm your host, Joel Hoffman. What I'm going to start off with today, guys, is are you willing to get booed off stage? Just think about that. Are you willing to get booed off stage? Think about Eminem and 8 Mile, like he was willing to get booed off stage. Are you willing to get booed off stage? Because there's going to come a point in your life whenever that spotlight's going to hit you, and it's going to be your time to shine. Are you willing to get booed off stage? That's a big question, guys. That's you have to have the courage to be willing to perform, and no matter what, even if you get booed off stage, you got to give your best performance. You got to have the audacity and courage whenever it's your time to shine and the spotlight hits you, to be willing to get booed off stage. You got to give 100% whenever that happens, because if you're not willing to get booed off stage, then what happens? You're going to run from the spotlight. You're going to get stage fear. You're not going to have the courage. You're going to be afraid, and that fear is going to overcome you, and you're never going to get what you want. You're never going to be able to make that performance to get to the next level. You're never going to get what you want like that, guys. So that's a big thing to think about. How many times have you ran from that spotlight? How many times have you cowered in fear? I know it's happened to me before. It's happened to me, and for me, guys, like whenever I feel that fear, man, it gets me crunk now, because I know that there must be something really great on the other side of that fear. Like, don't get it twisted. There's a big difference between caution and fear, like caution for my life or, my financial security, stuff like that. But whenever you give in to fear, like whenever that fear hits you, there's usually something on the other side, because whenever that fear hits, that means that you're uncomfortable. That means that there's something on the other side of that uncomfortability. That means that there's greatness. There's a prize on the other side of that comfortability. There's a better version of you on the other side of that fear. So what I'd like for you guys to do is just start recognizing that, man. Be aware of that. Whenever you feel that fear, maybe it's social anxiety, whatever it is. Maybe it's, maybe it's fear of heights. Maybe it's fear of running. I know whenever I first started running, man, I was so scared. Running gets scary because you're out of breath. And when your heart starts pumping so fast, if you get on up there in age, like you're in your 30s or 40s, man, you get scared. If you haven't ran and you haven't felt your heart pump that fast in 10, 20 years, it gets scary. You want to stop, like, oh my gosh. So for me, whenever I first started running again, man, it was scary. And I just had to make this decision, like, you know what? Even if I die, I got to keep going. This fear, I know that I'm not going to die. I know that I was a semi-healthy human being back then. My heart was in good enough shape to work out anyways. I'm not recommending for people that have bad heart health to overpush it, but I knew that I wasn't going to die. So I had to overcome that fear, even though my heart felt like it was going to explode, like it was about to burst through my chest. And my legs were on, I had these bad cramps in my legs. My arteries felt like they were going to explode. All these different stuff that happens whenever you start running. Like, I had to push through that. There's a lot of fear that I had to overcome. But guess what? There was a lot of greatness on the other side of that. There was another level to me on another side of that. Whenever I started running 3 miles, then 4 miles, then 5 miles plus, then I was like, man, damn, this is awesome. And now I'm able to perform. I'm able to go to work and do whatever, if I have to perform physical labor, then I'm able to do it. I'm able to not be out of shape if I have to jump in the back of the truck and get something, or, if I go play with my kids and I'm not out of shape, I'm not out of breath. It's a wonderful feeling to be in shape. So there's all kinds of fears. Like, as a salesman, man, you have to overcome that fear of making that cold call, of knocking on that door. For me, that was one of my biggest blessings, is because, just the experience of knocking on so many doors, it made it easy for me, because I just didn't care. And I would just, I always had a way to overcome that fear. Like, the same thing that happened whenever I told myself, like, don't be a pussy, hit that door. Man, that was time to go. As a matter of fact, whenever I got most complacent and I felt like I wasn't scared, and that's whenever I passed the most doors. I had to tell myself, like, don't be a pussy, hit that door, you're being scared, in order for me to work harder. So just work on that. Make that a trigger for you guys. Whenever you start to feel that fear, instead of running away, start to ask yourself, why do you feel like that? What's on the other side of that? And just start thinking about what's on the other side of that. What's the next level of that? How great will you be able to be on the other side of that fear? Will you be better at your job? Will you be able to communicate with people better? Will you be able to be more social in those settings that you were afraid in before? Will you be able to talk to people better? If you're single right now, will you be able to attract a partner better? Will it help you meet new people better? Will help you create more opportunities there. So just think about that, guys. What if every time you got scared, you started asking yourself why and said, you know what, I want to overcome this fear, and you actively worked on overcoming that? Just think about all the possibilities of all the capabilities that you had if you would be willing to overcome that fear and put in the work to do whatever you want. A lot of times whenever it comes to like learning new skills, it's the fear of that we're going to waste our time, that this is a waste of time. Like whenever I learned how to play the guitar, in the beginning it was hard, and I realized this is where a lot of people quit because it's so hard. You're not making any sense. You sound like shit. And it's this fear of, man, I'm just going to keep wasting my time. This is a waste of time. I can't do this, right? So I knew, no, that's just a fear. I had to overcome that. But just think about that. Think about how many times you've not tried something, or that you gave up on something because you felt like it was a waste of time. That's a fear. If you break it all down to that, Napoleon Hill talks about the 6 basic fears. If you look in his book and you listen to the 6 basic fears, and you direct everything back to those 6 basic fears, you can break down a lot of things in life if you just break it down to those 6 basic fears. So don't be scared to get booed off stage. Whenever it's time for you to get in that spotlight and it's time for you to shine, that's whenever you put on your best performance. Now, better believe that I hope you rehearse for that performance. I hope that you practice for that performance, because that's what you definitely should do if you expect yourself to get a good result. You should always rehearse and practice your craft and be the best at it that you possibly can. Put in the 10,000 hours of work if you want to truly shine. You can't expect to get out there and perform like Beyonce if you haven't put in no work and you haven't practiced on your craft. So I know we're not talking about everybody performing like Beyonce, but you know what I mean as far as like life. Whenever life comes, it's your time to shine. You get what I'm saying. So next thing I want to talk about with you guys is just like, how do you learn? What is the best way for you to learn? Is your best way to learn? Is it reading? Is it watching videos? Is it looking at pictures? Is it writing things down over and over again? Some people, I know for me, myself, there's some things that I have an easy time learning that if I'm very interested in, or there's certain people teaching or talking, then my mind takes those things in. It absorbs it very easily. And there's some other things that, man, it's just like a whole nother language to me, and I have to really dig in. But if you're willing to do whatever it takes to learn, if you're willing to do all the things necessary to program that into your mind and beat it and stamp it into your mind of whatever it is that you need to learn, or whatever skill it is that you need to learn, then do it. Like David Goggins, he freaking wrote down the whole Navy book, whatever it was that he had to learn for the Navy SEALs. He wrote down all that shit, man, over and over again until he knew it all. I remember all the things that I memorized in my life and the places that I was at, that I had to regurgitate information and I had to remember this information that I just wrote it down over and over again. So if you want to beat something into your head and you want to learn something new, then you definitely can, no matter what it is. The question is like, are you willing to put in the work? If you're willing to put in the work to learn, then you have unlimited capabilities. You can learn how to do anything. You can speak new languages. You can become a computer programmer. You can build websites. You can have your own business. You can do whatever you want to do if you're willing to put in the work to learn. So like, if you figure out how it is that you learn the easiest, whatever the easiest way it is for your mind to grasp information, then take advantage of that and use that and spend your time learning. Don't spend all your time in that comfort zone and always, watching videos and just spending your time on nothing, just wasting time. Like, Use your time for something. Gain information, gain knowledge. Like, don't you, even if you're watching videos, like watch something educational, watch something about history, learn about other people. That way you can have some more knowledge of what other people went through. So the next thing is like, what are your systems? What kind of systems do you have in place in order for you to grow? What kind of systems do you have in place in order for you to be successful? What kind of systems do you have in place in order for you to be happy? Think about that. Like, what are your daily systems? If you're waking up in the morning, you're not doing shit, you're eating a donut, then you're going to work pissed off, you're running late all the time, you're rushing for a late cup of giant coffee, you're trying to get through the line at Starbucks, you're showing up 10, 15 minutes late to work every day or just right on time, your boss is always on your ass, you're procrastinating everything to get your to meet your deadlines or to meet your quota, you're barely skating by. Like, what are your systems like? Are you set up for happiness if you're living like that? Are you set up for success? Are you set up to grow? Think about that. So there's going to be some things that you have to sacrifice in order to build the right type of systems in your life, in order to get the right type of results and to hit the right type of goals. So a great book to read is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he talks all about the systems, and he says it's not about the goals, it's about the systems. Well, I'd like to, disagree with that. But what I would say is that it is about the systems, but it's also about the goals. If you have your goal in your mind and clear in your subconscious mind, clear goal to keep you going whenever the times get hard and you want to cheat the system, then you can use that system to get what you want. But you have to stick to the system and build a system and build your routine and build this this mantra about you, this set of rules about you that you will not break. This morality, these ethics that you have about yourself that you're not willing to break in order to stick to the system and get what you want. For instance, like if you're trying to be financially successful, then one of your rules might be, I do not gamble. And maybe a bunch of other people gamble and they want to go to the casino and they ask you, hey, what's up? You want to go? Why don't you want to go? What's up? And you tell them, I don't gamble. And that's just part of your system. Maybe you explain it to them, maybe you don't, whatever. But that's part of your system because you have made a rule that's part of your ethics to not gamble in order for you to achieve your financial success. So if you make that system, you stick to it, make your routine and you stick to it, then you will see results on the other side. But if you don't have any system and you're just flying by the seat of your ass all the time, then what can you expect? Then you can expect up and down results. Then you can expect a bunch of variables happen, a bunch of random things happen. You can expect never to know what's going to happen. Like, I'm not telling you that you have to be some type of super planner where you plan out the next 10 years of your life. But I'm telling you that if you have a system in place of your daily habits, your daily rituals, and your daily routine, then you can know what to expect more on a daily basis. And it's a lot easier for you to have a sense of certainty and identify with yourself of exactly who you are because you have this routine and these habits and this ethical code that you go by. If you have this ethical code that you never steal, if somebody was to blame you for stealing something, then you won't be so offended by it because you know that you don't steal. You just like, hey man, you just need to find the evidence or whatever you need to do because I don't steal. Like, you're not even worried about it. Or if you're in a relationship and your partner accuses you of cheating and you never cheat, that's part of your system, then you don't have to worry about it. Like, hey, you can go through my phone if you want to be an asshole, but that's part of my system because I just don't cheat. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. But that system helps create the happiness in the future. So when you're searching for that happiness, you're searching for that success, you're searching for that joy, then check your systems. What are your systems like? What are your routines like? What's your eating habits like? Like, are you eating like shit every day and then going to the gym and then you get on the treadmill for 15 minutes and then you're complaining that you're not losing any weight? That's not the way it works. Like, if you're not going to the gym, you're not pushing yourself, you're not leveling up, then you're not going to get the results you want. If you're not eating a semi-healthy lifestyle, then you're not going to get the results you want. Even people don't understand the mental aspect that goes into the diet, how much that affects your brain and the way that your brain works. It's a big thing, man. So check that. Check your diet. Think about your systems. These are all things in order for the overall success of your happiness, your well-being. That's what I got today, guys. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, feel free to send me a message. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all the followers. Check out my page on Facebook, Underground Motivation. Check me out on YouTube, Underground Motivation. I got Instagram, The Real Underground Motivation. And my website, www.undergroundmotivation.com. I have the Warrior of the Light shirts. I got my website being set up right now. I have some of those shirts still available if you guys want to check those out. Man, I love you guys, man. This is the first podcast I did, so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit new to me, but just know that I love you guys. If you're on rock bottom and you need some help, shoot me a message. I have 100 videos on YouTube. Go check them out, man. Go subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Check them out. Like I said, if you ever need any help, just shoot me a message. And remember, anything that you believe that you can do is possible. You guys go make it happen.